Hey there, this is LaQuita with QuitaBugHandmaids.com. Thank you so much for joining me today for another Stampin' Up! Tutorial. So today I am sharing a project that is a follow-up of the project that I shared with you last Monday. So I shared this Mother's Day table favor box with you last Monday, and I thought I would share the Mother's Day card that I'm going to give in addition to this little table favor box. So I'm using the Floral Essence stamp set as well as the To a Wild Rose stamp set and the coordinating Wild Rose dies. So let's go ahead and jump right into today's tutorial. So I've got all of my pieces here ready to go, and I'm going to start with this piece of Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to bring in my piercing mat so that I have a nice cushion for my image since I'm using photopolymer stamps. I've got Poppy Parade ink here. I'm going to stamp that same big rose the same way that we did on the box. So I'm just stamping it in the Poppy Parade ink. I've got my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine here. I've got plate number 1, number 2, and then a cutting plate. I'm going to lay down my Whisper White cardstock, and I'm just going to line up my die. So I've got that all lined up, and then I'm also going to add on this little frame here for the sentiment that we'll be stamping after we die cut this out. Another cutting plate, very carefully on top. All right, and then I can run this through. Okay, so on this little stitched frame that we die cut, this is where I'm going to stamp the sentiment. I've got my Coastal Cabana ink pad, and the sentiment that I chose is from Floral Essence, and it's the one that says, "All days are beautiful that begin with you." So I'm just going to stamp that right at the bottom all the way down. So now we can start assembling this card. So I've got this piece of Poppy Parade cardstock. This is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then I'm going to layer on this piece of Fine Art Floral Designer Series paper. I'm loving this paper. As you can tell, I used it, I think, every day last week. So this piece is cut 3 7/8 of an inch by 5 1/8 of an inch. So I will just add that on with a little bit of seal. And this just gives a really tiny, tiny border of that Poppy Parade. I love how that looks. Then I'm going to take this little frame and I'm going to line it up with the top of my Poppy Parade. And I'm just going to bring in a pin, and I'm going to mark where these little points are on the side because I'm going to add some ribbon, and I want it to go directly across the center of those points. And then I've got that Coastal Cabana ribbon that comes in the Playing with Patterns ribbon combo pack. And I'll just cut a length of that off. Then I'll flip this over and add some adhesive. And then we'll just wrap that ribbon centered over those 2 little pin marks and adhere it into that adhesive that I've got on the back. Now for my card base, I've got Whisper White thick cardstock. This is cut 8 1/2 inches by 5 1/2 inches, and I've scored it at 4 1/4 inches. And I do have all of these measurements over on today's blog post, which is linked down below in the video description. All right, so let's just add this on. Just put a little bit more adhesive, and I'll center this up onto my card front. Okay, then I'm going to add some dimensionals onto the back of these pieces. And I'll do an edge piece down the center of this sentiment to kind of help secure that ribbon even more. Okay, so let's just line that up with my, can't really see, so I'm going to turn it upside down. Line it up with my Poppy Parade cardstock. I think that looks good. Yep. And then we'll add on our little flower. So we'll just put this right there. Looks good to me. And then I'm going to finish this card with one of the Coastal Cabana resin dots. These are from the Playing with Patterns resin dots, and I'm just using the largest size here. Put that in the center of my rose. And there you have it. That finishes up this card. I love it, and I think it coordinates beautifully with that little table favor treat box. Okay, so there you have it, you guys. You can see how that card coordinates with the table favor box, and I've got all of my cards ready to go. All of my boxes are ready to go, so I'm ready for Mother's Day, except I still need to find something to go inside of my little box. But other than that, I'm ready. So anyways, I hope that you have enjoyed today's tutorial. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget you can find all of the measurements and supplies over on today's coordinating blog post link down below in the video description. And I do have all of the supplies listed down below with clickable links. So thank you again, and I'll be back very soon with another tutorial. Bye now.